What is happening, people? Welcome back to another video. As ever, if you're new here, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It helps the algorithm. And before I start, as well, I've had quite a good week this week. We it kicked off with me interviewing Sophie Whittam, who runs a company called Fight Label, and they essentially make apparel and shorts for the best boxers. They've done stuff for AJ, they've done stuff for Ben Whittaker, etc. And I had the opportunity to go to the office in Chesterfield, and sit down with Sophie, and I think it was a great chat. So that episode is available now, available on the Hook YouTube channel. So please give it a watch if you, I don't know, you're in the gym, or if you've got a long car journey ahead. It won't disappoint, I promise. And I was also at the Anso Kakache against Jazza Dickens press conference. I did a J trip to Dublin, which was quite interesting. First time I'd done something like that before, but it was good to meet a lot of different people. And through it's quite funny, right? Because through all the interviews that we've done, we're starting to get recognised by quite a few people in the industry, which is cool to see. So yeah. Anyway, yeah, just check out the interview if you've got time. But without further ado, I want to talk about um MVP and Jake Paul, because they are making waves and they're doing very good things for women's boxing. I made a separate video talking about their deal with ESPN, their UK deal with Sky Sports, and they've gone and added Michaela Meyer to the list of the talent that they have already at their disposal. They've got the likes of Clarissa Shields, Alicia Baumgartner, signed Caroline Dubois, and they also have Amanda Serrano in a lifetime contract. Amanda Serrano, of course, is known for her gruesome fights with Katie Taylor, smash records at Madison Square Garden. And who knows, maybe they lace up the gloves again and fight each other at Croke Park, which will be a really good homecoming for Katie Taylor. But not only is Amanda Serrano, interestingly, and received a lifetime sort of contract from MVP, there she's also been appointed their head of boxing when she retires. So again, she'll be responsible for the next crop of Amanda Serrano's coming through. And yeah, just goes to show their strategy. Jake Paul and Nikisa Badarian, big shout out to them, because they are doing quite a lot for women's boxing, and it's starting to show. They've got that fight on Sky Sports coming up. They signed an exclusive agreement with Madison Square Garden, where a lot more of their fights will be shown in at the arena. So yeah, they're doing bits, and not only are they doing bits for women's boxing, but they've also signed Francis Ngannou, who has enjoyed quite a torrid time with the PFL. I mean, they he joined the PFL, I think, after the UFC, and only appeared once for them. They of course granted him leave to go fight Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury. Did really well against Tyson Fury, but got um absolutely destroyed against Anthony Joshua in the second round. And then had that one fight at super heavyweight, which was PFL's inaugural sort of weight category. Did that and didn't appear again. And I think they had a couple fights remaining on that deal, but they mutually terminated that deal. And as of like a week, Francis Ngannou was walking around as a free agent. That was up until Jake Paul um, announced that Ngannou will be fighting on the undercard of Ronda Rousey, which um, yeah, is another significant coup for them. And um, it begs a bigger question as to how much Jake Paul can succeed and how much he can grow, and really make a name for himself in British boxing. Sorry, not in British boxing, but in world boxing. Um, and also in British boxing. I mean, Eddie Hearn said on Kugan Cassius's podcast that he envisions him working with Jake Paul and Nikisa Badarian, which shows again like how skillful they are in operating, negotiating. They've essentially cornered the women's boxing market, and they're taking full advantage of that, which is quite cool. But one thing that another topic I want to focus on is you guessed it, Dana White and the UFC, because they're coming under quite a lot of slack with this announcement of the White House card. And I've already done, a little bit of analysis on that. A lot of people were expecting John Jones, Conor McGregor, but that's not the case anymore. Um, and it's left a lot of people dumbfounded, especially considering that the event is going to be done at the White House, Trump's 80th birthday. They expected them to go all out. I mean, I guess the fight card is still good, but it's not Conor McGregor or John Jones good. And because of that, you know, will we see an exodus of fighters walking out? We've seen a lot of backlash from the likes of John Jones, who was going at Dana White, sort of accusing him of, lowballing him in negotiating for the upcoming White House card. I guess they used that as a yard to, negotiate lower. It doesn't seem the case, and has is Dana White's grip on MMA slowly starting to soften? Probably not as of yet, because there's not an option. There's no other viable alternative to the UFC. They've kind of cornered that market, but I guess our fighters maybe increasing their confidence in speaking out. We've seen that to be the case when Tom Aspinall signed to Matchroom Talent Agency, and Eddie Hearn again said on that podcast with Coogan that um he looked at Dana White's contract with Tom Aspinall and was quite dumbfounded at the amount of money that he was being paid, or the lack of money that he was being paid, sort of likening his purse to a York Hall fighter, or what a York Hall fighter would receive, which is, I guess, sparking a lot of fighters to come out and want to work with Eddie Hearn. I mean, Eddie was saying that Tom Aspinall would be earning a lot more money from a couple commercial deals that he'll be signing, more so than one of his recent fight cards, which is it can Dana White feel threatened by, I guess, Eddie Hearn's access to the UFC contract, what they're paying. It seems like Conor Ben's been used as a pawn, and Tom Aspinall, but I wonder how much deeper that sort of feud can go, because I guess it could get quite nasty, quite personal very quickly. Um, and yeah, it's really one to keep an eye on. Spencer Brown has been named as the lead promoter for Tyson Fury against Arsenal Makhmudov, which again Hearn has sort of pressed home, because in an earnings call with Mark Shapiro, he came out and said that Zuffa, I believe, were the lead promoter, not mentioning Queensberry at all. So that sort of begs a bigger question as to whether Tyson Fury is still working with Frank Warren. Obviously Frank Warren was at the top table of that inaugural presser, but he's remained quite quiet on Tyson Fury. Is there a lot of I guess there's a lot of sort of animosity bubbling behind the scenes, and something that I think shouldn't, and well, it needs to be addressed, really. Um, Spencer Brown have only got his British promoter's license a couple of days ago, because you need that to stage an event. So it's been confirmed that he is the lead promoter, which is good for Gold Star and good for Brown. Brown is, of course, quite close to Turkey Al Sheikh and Riyadh season. He helped broker that initial fight between Tyson Fury and Francis Ngannou, which sort of kickstarted the whole Riyadh season boxing event. So he has cordial relationships with Queensberry as well. So I guess he's a good middleman between Turkey and Frank Warren, to get things done. But yeah, interesting times. Matchroom announced that Sky Nicholson will fight on in Australia. It will be the first time Sky Nicholson headlines, and it's the first of 7 fights that will be held on Kaio Sports, which is owned by DAZN, which signifies Matchroom's international expansion and shows, I guess how serious they are in really taking over, in really becoming the global home of boxing. So quite exciting for them. And then finally, I want to finish off with Shakur Stevenson. It's been rumored that he's offered a 3-fight, $60 million deal with Zuffa. Now, Shakur came out and said, if they're offering 60 mil for 3 fights, get on the phone to my agent. So I guess money does talk, and it shows its talk. It shows it talks. Through the Riyadh season cards, through Conor Benn's decision to part ways with Matchroom and go to Zuffa. Now, will we see Shakur go to Zuffa? I'd never say never, but if he does, then they are that'd represent a big coup, considering he's only 28 years of age. He's got a lot of fighting still yet to do, and 3 fights, could take him, if he fights once a year, it's 28, 28, 29, 30. So yeah, I mean, look, I guess for Shakur it'd be a really good deal. It could lead to a fight with Conor Benn. Would Conor Benn go and fight someone like Shakur? I don't think so, considering he's chosen to fight Regis Prograis, and there were other options on the table. But I guess again, money does talk. So yeah, be interesting to see if where Shakur goes from here. I think Shakur was promoted by Matchroom, so again, it'll be another sort of chess move. And if it does pull off, then shows that I guess Dana would be winning, because that is a taking Shakur. I don't know if Shakur is still with Matchroom. I should probably check that. Shakur Stevenson, promoter. Let's have a look. Yeah, he is with Matchroom. But yeah, again, shows shows how much again shows how much these fighters, I guess, are pawns in a bigger war, and we'll see who wins that war in the next 2 to 3 years. But it's very exciting. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll leave a link to that episode with Sophie Whittam in the description below. Thank you.